Blaming the GOP during his briefing today, Governor Cuomo accused Republicans of playing politics. Listen to this.
It was exploited with misinformation, people playing politics, Republicans playing politics, personal attacks, personal agendas. And now this continues and people get confused. And people who lost family members in nursing homes start to say, I wonder if this is true.
Joining me now with reaction and discuss impeachment potentially is Will Barclay, the New York Assembly Minority Leader. He is part of the movement to form an impeachment commission. So the governor, Will, is blaming Republicans for causing pain on the families who lost loved ones in nursing homes. He might as well be staring in a mirror because his name was on the nursing home order, and he and his team of bullies are the ones that covered up and stonewalled any kind of accounting of how many people died and why.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I find it wholly offensive that he could say this is a partisan, he didn't use the word witch hunt, but to say this is partisan, I think we've seen the voices from across the aisle raise up in the last week, particularly since that private political meeting that his top aide had, where they said they weren't going to release the information because they were worried about a Department of Justice investigation. They were worried about political fallout. Since that time, you've had both Democrats in the state Senate and Democrats in the Assembly saying that we ought to take his executive powers away and saying there ought to be more investigation. And I'm saying to them, welcome to the party. This is what we've been advocating for some time. We think it should take one step further with this impeachment commission to investigate whether there is any criminality. And we want to do that in a bipartisan manner. That's why we say on this impeachment commission, it ought to be 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans, because this ought to be bipartisan. This is not a partisan issue.
Will, do you need Democrats to vote in favor of setting up this commission, and do you have those votes?
Well, not yet, but I'm optimistic we will. Obviously, we just introduced this yesterday, so we're giving time for everybody to sign, Republicans and Democrats to sign on until this Wednesday, coming Wednesday. And I think as the pressure continues to climb, and rightfully so here, we're going to see more and more Democrats willing to get on this. And I'm optimistic that we can get this done. And look, we're not trying to predispose what's the commission's going to find. Maybe they'll ultimately find there isn't any criminality. But how can someone say we shouldn't be investigating with the amount of evidence that we have right now? It seems like a very logical next step.
And that panel, if it is established, would have subpoena power. You'd have the power to subpoena witnesses. I want to ask you, like what happened to Ron Kim, who's a Democrat who lost his uncle to COVID in a nursing home, and him coming out and saying, I was screamed at while I was bathing my children by the governor. He was called a liar by the governor. And I want to know, how many people do you know who work in government, Democrat or Republican, who have been screamed at, threatened, or bullied by Cuomo at any time?
Right. Well, I can fortunately say I've not been on the receiving end of that, but I have heard stories about him bullying. And just this week, there came out stories where his staff was calling various members, telling them not to use the words like cover up or scandal. So I think it is the modus operandi of this governor to do that, and his staff. I personally haven't been thankfully on the receiving end. But the other problem with doing this is, you would think at this time he'd be looking for legislative allies. And regardless of how some people feel about Governor Cuomo's policies, I can tell you anyone in the legislature, Republican or Democrat, are highly offended when the governor tries to strong arm various members. And I think that's going to cause him to lose some Democrats, any Democrat support he might have in that conference.
Well, today he kept lying. The Cuomo administration refused to release the data about the nursing home deaths, period, and to the press, to lawmakers, to family members. And it only began unraveling when the Attorney General released that report on those very deaths. So he's floundering. And all the family members want, and all anyone wants, is justice and maybe an apology. So I know that you're working on that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Will, be well.